it's Miss Hurst from Hamilton County School. We're going to continue our work with fairy tales today, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Today for the warm-up, I want you to answer this question. After what we read yesterday, do you think violence in fairy tales is okay? Why or why not? Pause me while you do that work and press play when you're ready to continue. So today we're going to be analyzing how an author distinguishes her point of view from the position of others. So we're going to be looking at the other side of things. So we're going to read the case against fairy tales today. Oh. Sorry about that. So you're going to be reading the case against fairy tales, which tells the other side of the story today. While you do your first read, I want you to notice the general ideas of the text. What is it about? Who is involved? Annotate by marking vocabulary and key passages you want to revisit. I want you to connect ideas within the selection to what you already know and what you've already read. And then I want you to write a timeline of the selection if you want. You can write a summary of the selection. And I want you to consider the claim. Okay, what is her claim in this text? Pause me while you do that and press play when you're ready to continue. All right, so hopefully you have identified her claim. This author thinks that we should not continue exposing children to fairy tales. So what she does really well, in my opinion, not every time, but at least some of the time, is that she acknowledges the other side of the argument. She acknowledges why some people really like fairy tales. So what we're going to do today is we're going to identify the reasons that she says people might say she's wrong, right? The reasons that people might think we should continue using fairy tales. And then she gives an argument against it. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. The first argument that she acknowledges, so the other side, is that the violence has been censored through Disney, right? Disney censors this violence, so it's not that big of a deal. So the reason she says that that's still not okay is that Disney cleaned up some of the violence, not all of it. For example, she uses Snow White, the evil queen in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Still wants to steal Snow White's heart, right? So she says that's still very violent. So even though some people might say that the violence has been censored enough, she says no, not enough. There's still some violence and it's still not okay. So I want you to look through and I want you to find two more opposing claims that the author uses. And what is her argument against those opposing claims? Some of them are really straightforward. Some of them are less straightforward. Pause me while you do that. Press play when you're ready to continue. All right, so another thing that she says is an opposing claim is that fairy tales allow children to resolve inner conflicts between positive and negative forces of the self, which sounds really fancy. So she's basically saying that a child might have kind of like an angel on the shoulder, devil on the shoulder kind of situation, and fairy tales allow them to figure out which side to take. Her argument against that is that this is not a plausible idea, because children are not likely to make those connections, which I agree with. I think that maybe later in life they would make those connections, but I think what she says in the text is they're most likely to be like, ooh, that would hurt, not, oh, I should always go with the angel on my shoulder. Another argument she makes is that fairy tales are charming and interesting to children. Totally true, right? Kids love fairy tales. Her argument against that is that there are other more appropriate options, such as, and then she lists a bunch, The Phantom Toll Booth, such a good book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and The Velveteen Rabbit. And she gives more examples. So there's at least one more argument. So if you haven't found that last argument, I want you to go ahead and do it, because it's important to remember that good readers consider how an author establishes their own position against the position of others. So to show me that you can do that, I want you to do this quick write. Does the author effectively defend her claim against the counterclaims she addresses? And I want you to be sure to include evidence from the text in your answer, including evidence we did not go over. Okay. Once you're done with that, you are good to go. Have a wonderful rest of your day.